So let me be clear. I'm going to take you to the board with me. I'm going to show you how the mind works. It's my model, you see. I'm going to show you the different parts of the mind. I'm going to show you exactly what each part does. And then I'm going to show you what's happening inside of your mind when you're stressed out and out of control. And then I'm going to show you how to build the tool that you need to get control, ultimately, of your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions so you can have control over your mind, okay? Now, basically, when people talk about the mind, they talk about two minds, a conscious and a subconscious. And we learn with the conscious and we store with the subconscious. My mind, much more complicated. So I'm going to take you through it, but I'm going to give you a premise to work from. Willpower, in my language, is the conscious insistence upon staying in the now until the task you wish to accomplish, regardless of what you're trying to accomplish. If you are connected to your willpower, then you can do whatever you need to do. And in my language, willpower is the conscious insistence upon staying in the now until the task you wish to accomplish is finished. So I'm going to show you what that looks like on the board, okay? To begin with, this is my model. Now, my model is in three parts. Here is the conscious mind, and I conceptualize the conscious mind as a two-way radio. I call this the now part of the mind. This is where your will is. This is your choice part of your mind. This is what you learn with. You don't change. No one can change unless you consciously make up your mind there's something you definitely want to change. And you have the will, and that's what you want. But sometimes you have power. You have unlimited power, but you don't know where it's at, and you don't know how to get to it. Well, in my model, your power is in your subconscious mind. This is where your power is. I see the subconscious mind like a giant computer. Whatever you learn, you store in the subconscious part of your mind, but you only use about 8 to 10% of your subconscious mind. That means you got 92% potential power. Power to memorize, power to do, power to move, energy, an infinite amount of energy. Can you imagine you needed energy and I could connect you up to Niagara Falls where you have unlimited amount of energy? And if you can control that energy, how powerful will that be? What else is in your subconscious mind? Well, first of all, the past, which is all of your experiences, all of the knowledge you have, anything you've ever done, your success, your failures, or anything. It's all here in the past. Now, how much influence the past, whoever you are, has to do with the now? Quite a bit. So you have to understand, and you're going to see in a moment how all this works and how it all comes together. I also believe, and some of you may differ, but this is where I believe your soul is. You see? This is where I believe you're connected to God. This is that infinite source of energy, okay? Also, this is where all your healing powers are. Can you imagine being able to intensify the healing process? Can you imagine being connected to your subconscious mind that you can actually influence the balance of homeostasis throughout your body, where you could actually level off and produce red corpuscles carrying fresh oxygen and white corpuscles carrying antibiotics and platelets? Can you imagine? You can do that. You got to understand where it's at, but also how to get to it, but also what prevents you from getting to it. You see? Next. In between these two minds, now this is my model, there's a fan. I call this middle part of the mind the preconscious mind. I call the fan of preconceived ideas. And in our earlier talks, we talked about what's more powerful, what a person believes, or the facts. It's what we believe. Because what we believe is our truth. And our truth, why is it so much powerful? To remind you, facts are just facts. Anybody can pick up a fact and put it down. Anybody can repeat a fact. But when you believe something, then that's emotionally charged. It's you. What you believe becomes your truth. And it took you a long time to come to that truth. Now, this fan can go 500 miles an hour, all the way down to 100, down to 50, down to 15. Now, it has all kinds of buttons inside, you see. It has an I want button and a don't want button. And down here is a little AA button, which I'll explain to you in just a moment. But get this picture, you see. Now, your conscious mind is the now part of your mind. The subconscious mind, we're going to call the past, with potential power. But I want you to think just of the now and the past. But the middle part of your mind, based on what you want and what you don't want, is this is your belief system, you see? Because what you want, that's good for you. What you don't want is bad for you. What you want is right for you. What you don't want is wrong for you. But what else do you want? What do we all want? We want to be happy. We want to be secure. We want to have money. We want to have love. We want to be connected. We want to feel good about ourselves. And what don't we want? We don't want to feel bad about ourselves. And what they ultimately want is control. We want control over our lives, our minds, our bodies, our attitudes, and our ways, which are our thoughts and feelings. We want control over our thoughts, our feelings, and our emotions. That's what we want. But what don't we want? Well, we don't want to be unhappy and feel bad about ourselves. We all want to be happy, not unhappy. We don't want to feel bad. We don't want to be naturally out of control. We don't want to feel crazy. We don't want to feel scared. We don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to be laughed at. We don't want to be made a fool of. We don't want to fail. We don't want to feel inadequate. All of these things we don't want. Now, we have a belief system, you see. And what we believe is very powerful. Now, let's say we have a situation that we worry about, okay? What does it mean when you worry about something? Before I explain worry, let's talk about this. What comes first, a thought or a feeling? Well, some people say thought, some people say feeling. It doesn't make any difference. First could be a thought, could be a feeling. Let's say feeling. Let's say you're hungry, okay? Well, I'm hungry. Well, where can I go eat? Well, there's a restaurant right around the corner called Macaroni's. So we go there. So the thought becomes a feeling, and then there's action, you see? So here we have the feeling. We don't want to be hungry. So we take that and we go back into the past. We know where we're going to eat, and we know what we want to do. And sure enough, we find the restaurant, we eat, and that feeling or thought is now resolved. It's done with. But now when you worry, that's different. Because when you worry, you go into a what-if state of mind. Well, what if this happens? What if that happens? When you worry, that means you don't have control over something. You can't control the future. And the past keeps haunting you. Or what if this happens? Or what if that happens? Or what does that look like? When you have a thought coming out of your subconscious mind, and you start what-ifing, and you start worrying, then the thought becomes a feeling, and that feeling hits that I don't want button. Well, now it's different. We're not eating. We're worried. We don't have the answer. So now where does it go? Where is the action? There's no action. The thought becomes a feeling, and the feeling hits the I don't want button, and it comes right back again, and it becomes a thought. And now they start going around and around and around and around. And as it goes around and around, this fan starts going up. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 miles an hour. And before you know it, that fan is blowing. And if it's a thought that you keep worrying and worrying and worrying about, one day you wake up with an AA button. And that ain't American Airlines, and it ain't Alcoholics Anonymous. It's anticipatory anxiety. Anticipatory anxiety, that thought or the feeling that keeps going around and around and around, and you can't stop thinking about it. You can't get a hold of that. Why? Because you're stuck between the past and you're stuck in the future, and you're going around and around. You no longer are in the now. You are stuck. And after a period of time, when you say stuck long enough that you can't figure out the answer, you start to develop a feeling of feeling powerlessness. Have you ever felt powerless? Have you ever felt hopeless? And after a while, have you ever felt paralyzed? Have you ever awakened in the morning tired? Even though you slept, you're still tired. Or you wake up in the morning with a big old heavy lead weight on your head, or a 500-pound lead chest, a vest on your chest. Have you ever had that? That's anxiety, but you're not crazy. What's going on is you are out of control. You're stuck between the past and the future, and you don't know how to get control. Now that's where hypnosis comes in. And that's where I come in. When people come in to see me, everybody comes in with different ideas, but they're desperate. They don't care if they bark like a dog or cluck like a chicken. They're willing to do anything. Just fix me. Give me the magic bullet. I don't have a magic bullet. But what I have is an understanding. And trying to fix something you don't understand is like trying to open up a combination lock without the combination. How long would it take you to do that? You could have the right combination, but if you don't have the right instructions, you don't get it open. You could have the right instructions, but you don't have the right combination, you can't get it open. But you can have the right combination and the right instruction, but you don't know what to do with it. And you don't pay any attention to either one, you still don't get it open. So you have to know what you're dealing with. You have to know how the mind works, but you also need control. Now listen carefully. This fan goes 500 miles. Can you imagine being in a room with me, and you're on that side of the room, and I'm on this side of the room, and I give you a big bushel of popcorn, and I say to you, look, when I raise my hand, you start throwing the popcorn. No problem. You're pretty strong. But what I didn't tell you is there an invisible fan between the two of us. And as soon as you start throwing the popcorn, I turn this rheostat that I got over here, and I turn that fan up, and it goes 500 miles an hour. How much popcorn are you going to get through the fan? Nothing. It's blowing right at you. You can't get nothing through the fan. But if you knew where the rheostat was, and you could slow down that fan, how much popcorn could you get through the fan? All you wanted. So what I do, number one, with hypnosis, very gently, and it takes anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes, I slow everything down. You become very relaxed. You become very peaceful. In fact, you control the whole session, you see. You control the complete session, but it's very peaceful because with words and suggestions, gently, you begin to relax. And as you relax, the fan slows down. And as the fan slows down, you have peace between your conscious and your subconscious mind. And suddenly, this loop is broken. And when the loop is broken, then the energy flows out. But there's peace between the conscious and the subconscious mind. So first I slow down the fan. And then I build a rheostat right here in your conscious mind. So that whenever you're upset or anxious or feel out of control, crazy, or whatever it is, you have a way of breathing very gently, very slowly. You take the oxygen down into your body. You relax. Endorphins are released, which is the natural morphine of your body. But then when you're able to do that, once I give you first I do it. I slow down the fan. I break the loop. And then I teach you how to do it. You learn self-hypnosis. I teach you how to slow down the fan. I teach you how to stay in the now. I teach you how to break that loop. You see, thoughts tend to work themselves out of the mind through an action of the body. But if you can develop and slow down the fan, yourself and let the thoughts flow, then you're no longer trapped between your conscious and your subconscious mind. This is called cyclical thinking. That's exactly what it is. You see? It's cyclical thinking. Some people call it mind screwing. It's cyclical thinking. And then you're stuck and it goes around and around. So the key is, first of all, you slow down the fan. I slow it down, then you slow it down. I build you a rheostat. And you will see, before you know it, you'll breathe a certain way. Your body relaxes. You create peace. The loop is broken. And now you feel safe again. Because now you can get to the now anytime you want and not continue to be trapped between the past and the future. You're no longer stuck. And then you move forward. Once you realize you're not crazy, once you realize that you just got a situation, a short, so to speak, a wire, so to speak, needs to be replugged. But you've got to know what that looks like. And you got to learn how to look at what you're afraid of. But you need some tools. You can't look at something unless you have tools. And that's what you'll be learning how to do. Step by step, you learn how the mind works, how the conscious, the preconscious, the subconscious. You're going to learn how to build a rheostat. You're going to learn how to deal with any kind of a crisis or anxiety or feeling out of control or powerlessness. You're going to learn how to calm down instantly. You're going to learn how to not to overreact or over-respond to a situation. You're going to learn how to stop feeling powerless, hopeless, and paralyzed. I'll see you again.